abhipsamanaha. Yastuttama shloka gunanuvada Sangiyate abhikshanam amangalagna tam eva nityam shunuyad abhikshanam Krishne malam bhaktim abhipsamana Yastu uttama shloka gunanuvada Sangiyate bhikshanam amangalagna Tam eva nityam shunuyad abhikshanam Krishne malam bhaktim abhipsamana Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The person who desires pure devotional service to Lord Krishna should hear of the narrations of Lord Uttama Shloka's glorious qualities, the constant chanting of which destroys everything inauspicious. The devotee should engage in such listening in regular daily assemblies and should also continue his hearing throughout the day. Purport. Since any topic related to Lord Krishna is auspicious and transcendental, the direct narration of Lord Krishna's own activities, political and non-political, is certainly the supreme subject matter for hearing. The word Nityam here indicates regulated cultivation of the topics of Lord Krishna, and Abhikshanam indicates constant remembrance of such regulated spiritual experiences. The person who desires pure devotional service to Lord Krishna should hear of the narrations of Lord Uttama Shloka's glorious qualities, the constant chanting of which destroys everything inauspicious. The devotee should engage in such listening in regular daily assemblies and should also continue his hearing throughout the day. So this verse is spoken by Srila Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. The holy glories of the Supreme Lord have a transformative, transportive, and therapeutic potency. Rather, hearing the holy glories of the Lord is the only way we can elevate our consciousness. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagvatam, Lord Kapil Dev explains that the great transcendentalists, they never suffer, they never experience the pangs and sufferings and tribulations of material existence. Why don't they suffer and experience the pangs and tribulations of material existence? He says because they know the art of mitigating the sufferings of this material existence, they know the art of detaching themselves or making themselves aloof from all the sufferings and tribulations of this material world. How? Simply by absorbing themselves in the holy glories of the Lord. Simply by absorbing themselves in the glories, the holy glories of the Supreme Lord. The same aspect is being revealed. Srila Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers also. Then Srila Prahlad Maharaj says that he says that I am not afraid of this material world. I have no problem with this material world. Because I have learned the art of absorbing my mind in the holy glories of the Lord. Mahamrita Magna Chittaha. So I have no misery personally for myself. Because I know the art of mitigating all the miseries which are impendent upon me. But my only fear, my only misery, my only grief is Shochetato Vimukachetasa Indriyar Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudaha. He says, O Lord, personally I have no misery in this material world. Because I have learned the art of being Magna Chitta in your glories, of being completely absorbed in your glories, but I have only one grief. For the living entities who have become averse to you, who have turned their back towards you. And these people are running behind illusory happiness, Maya, Sukham. And for that they are working so hard. I only feel for them. But for myself, there is no problem. So therefore, the holy glories of the Lord have the potency to destroy the suffering and tribulations of this material world. So therefore the Shastras explain that the holy glories of the Lord are in fact non-different from the Supreme Lord. And the presence of the Supreme Lord is like the sun. So just like abject darkness can be removed even before the sun rises or the first ray of the sun hits the surface of the earth, even before that the darkness is dispelled. Similarly, the holy glories of the Lord, whenever, wherever, and by whomever they are chanted, they have the potency to dissipate the darkness of ignorance. The darkness of the heart. Yes. Bona fide. Bona fide. The darkness is dispelled simply by the holy glories of the Lord. And therefore, these holy glories of the Lord are the most auspicious activities which a person can do in one's life. So we see from the advent of Srimad Bhagvatam itself, all the sages at that time, understanding that Kali Yuga is about to start, had just started at that time, and understanding the poisonous, deadly nature of Kali Yuga and how Kali Yuga has a potency to inflict excruciating suffering in the lives of people, the sages were very much concerned, and therefore they assembled at Naimisharanya to perform 1,000-year yajna. Then what was that yajna? That yajna was to discuss and chant the holy glories of the Lord. And therefore in their discussion, or for the discussion or for the yajna, they chose Srila Suta Goswami to narrate the holy glories of the Lord. And all the sages in the Naimisharanya, they were discussing. So therefore the holy glories of the Lord are very, very powerful. You see, just like in the material plane, an idea denotes a possibility. People get an idea, that is a possibility. When one ruminates on that idea manifests in the form of a new reality. This happens in the material plane as well. Similarly, we see any creation takes place like that. people get an idea, that is a possibility, and they ruminate on their idea, they convert the possibility into a new reality. Any good new creation comes like that. Any piece of art is created like that. So especially when it comes to the holy glories of the Lord, it is all the more true because we understand that from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam we understand that the entire universe is created from sound. And therefore the secret of liberation is sound. Anavritti Shabdat is one of the aphorisms in the Vedanta Sutra. So the world is created by sound, and the liberation from this entanglement of this world is also possible through sound. Now, and therefore the transcendental sound has transportive powers. So it can transport our consciousness from the material plane to the spiritual plane. Therefore, in the verse here, Srila Sukadeva Maharaj is describing that one should always throughout the day one should go on hearing and chanting the holy glories of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada explains that when we are engaged and absorbed in any activity of devotional service of the Lord, we are liberated at that point of time. But when one logs out of the activities of devotional service, one gets again caught up and entangled in the modes of material nature. So when the holy glories of the Lord are chanted and heard constantly, then there is no question of gliding down again into the entanglement of the modes. Therefore the person, such a person is always transcendental to the modes. Because he is not allowing himself to glide down to the modes. Because he has kept the channel of the holy glories of the Lord constantly. See, it's just like an airplane which has sufficient supply of fuel can remain at 40,000 feet above the sea level for hours and hours and hours. How long? As long as there is fuel. When it runs out of the fuel, it has to come down. Now in aerospace technology, there is no possibility of supplying the fuel online, live. So the plane has to come down, and again then get filled up, filled up with fuel, and then again take off, and then again it has to come down. But the transcendental technology, there is a possibility of supplying the fuel all the time. We may say how? Because now Shravanam is sometimes, whenever we get association of devotees, there is Shravanam. But Kirtanam can be all the time. That whatever we have heard, one can go on reciting all the time. So simply by the power, by the process of Kirtanam, there is again supply of fuel. The amount of fuel which is supplied by Shravanam, by Kirtanam also the same amount of fuel is again supplied and again supplied. Okay, Kirtanam also requires some candidates who are willing to hear. Well, our acharyas don't subscribe to this idea so much. Because our acharyas say that if you want to do Kirtanam, then no external situations are required. So now somebody should be there to hear. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that you should preach, and even if nobody comes to hear, you can preach to the four walls, no problem. So Kirtanam has no prerequisite. One may say, okay, but if one gets tired of speaking, or one is sick, or any such situation like that, then what? Then there is another link, which is Smaranam, remembering. By the power of remembrance also one gets the fuel. So you see, transcendental technology is so robust and sophisticated. So much so that if one wants to have that fuel which can keep one high at 40,000 feet above the modes, one can do that constantly. By the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, which leads to Smaranam, remembrance. And therefore, a devotee, a sadhaka, a progressive devotee, should make it a point that our lives, our thoughts, our aspirations are revolving around Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. That way life is revolving around the holy glories of the Lord. Which means what? Which means, okay, whenever there is opportunity to hear about the holy names of the Lord and the holy glories of the Lord, one should grab that opportunity. Our Acharyas recommend, wherever we go, whomever we meet, we should tell them about Krishna. जारे देखे तारे कहो Krishna उपदेश. So wherever we go, whomever we meet, we should tell them about Krishna. Now we can go anywhere and we can meet anyone, but you have to tell them about Krishna. And that is how there is ample opportunity for Kirtana. And then the Acharyas say that, okay, but where should our thoughts be dwelling on? Our thoughts should be dwelling on, as what Prahlad Maharaj is telling, Shochetato vimukachetasa driyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimuda. So as Srila Prahlad Maharaj explains, the burning of his heart is only one. That these Vimuda, these fools and rascals, they've given up, turned their back against Krishna, and they are running madly after chasing after Maya Sukha, which is illusory, and for that they are sacrificing everything, working very hard, struggling. So therefore a devotee's heart and meditation and a devotee's subject matter problem statement of rumination and meditation is, how can I give the message of Krishna to these fools and rascals? How can I give this message of Krishna to these materialistically minded people who, because of their materialistic mindset, are ensuring greater and greater sufferings in their life? So when that becomes the goal statement or the problem statement of one's existence, then one's mind will always be hooked to the holy glories of the Lord. Because one is always ruminating on, okay, what should I speak, which aspect of Krishna's message, and how I should present the glories of the Supreme Lord, that these people, then more and more people can understand, appreciate, imbibe the holy glories of the Lord. In this way, the Acharyas are recommending a perfect package and perfect directions how to be absorbed in the holy glories of the Lord through the modalities of Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. Hare Krishna. Let's stop here for today.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I have one question. First
Yes.
of all, thank you very much for this elaborately explain the importance of Sravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. Prabhuji, my question is that in your lecture you said that devotee, holy name is a transformative and therapeutic to the devotee.
Yeah.
So can you just explain?
Yes.
Just explain.
Yes, Prabhu. So the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord has transformative potency. Transformative potency because uh, it removes and cleanses uh, all the vices and the vasanas in our heart. So it is transformative. So when the vasanas are destroyed, then one can see situations in a meaningful way. One can interpret situations in an auspicious way. So that transformation takes place. Bhagavatam pictorially explains this transformation that okay, crow kind of mentality people they convert into swan kind of mentality people. The crows, envious leg pulling fellows, crows, creating noise and disturbance and dirt all around. They get converted into swans. Yeah, who stay in crystal clear water lakes and so the crow mentality is converted into swan mentality. That is the transformative potency of the holy glories of the Lord. Transportive, because the holy glories of the Lord take our consciousness to the spiritual realm. Therefore, the holy glories of the Lord are like a vehicle. It is more powerful than sitting in a plane. The holy glories of the Lord are like a vehicle, more powerful than a plane. And so when we are hearing heartily and with attention the glories of the Lord, chanting or remembering the holy glories of the Lord, and our consciousness is getting elevated to the spiritual realm, so we are getting transported. And therapeutic potency because the holy glories of the Lord, the moment we hear the holy glories of the Lord, immediately, uh, oceans of miseries get destroyed. It is said that our heart may be having an ocean of misery and suffering, but just by adding the holy glories of the Lord, all this ocean water of misery and suffering gets evaporated. Therapeutic potency. It can cure all the maladies of the heart. And therefore, more and more one allows oneself to be surrounded by the holy glories of the Lord. More and more these potencies can be experienced. So the holy glories are very powerful. Krishna's glories are very powerful. Sure, Prabhu. So,
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Haripur. So let's stop here for today. Prasad, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haripur.
Hare